Hi, I'm Danielle Gallant with Guardian Realty, and the hot button topic is always evictions and what's happening in court. So I was going to tell you guys about what happened at court last week. So last week I had a lease violation. The tenant was running the water all day long. She was convinced there was gnats coming out of the drain, and even though we were checking on a weekly basis, we were not able to find any gnats, and the owner was paying for the water, which caused the water bill to be very, very high. So I have three buildings that we have three separate water bills for on that same property. And so I brought all three bills and showed the owner the difference between the 10-unit building, the 4-unit building, and the other 4-unit building. And what he saw was that the 4-unit building that the tenant was running the water was the same amount as the 10-unit building. And the tenant didn't show up, but he still tried the case as if she was there. And after reviewing all the documentation, he determined that the tenant was causing damage to the unit, i.e. the owner, and granted my eviction. To be honest with you, I was shocked. I expected him to deny the eviction based on everything else that I had been seeing. I think some of it had to do with the fact that she didn't show up. I think that worked in our favor, but at least we got one win for our owner. So that was good news, and I'm happy to see that we are making some headway. However, I did get some news yesterday that the 30-day no-cause notices that were all filed in August, those evictions are being denied, even though amongst the legal community and the property management community and our legal counsel, everybody read the memorandum that we would be able to start filing 30-day no-cause vacates for tenants that are month-to-month in August. The courts have decided that no, we should have filed them on September 1st. So we are now having to refile those 30-day vacates, which means that we're also going to be somewhere towards the end of October before we're able to evict some of those tenants if they don't move out at the end of those 30 days. The other update I have for you is the mediation program. The Supreme Court here in Nevada is going to be hearing the testimonies of the various organizations that are involved, property managers, legal aid, probably some legislators as well. And the Supreme Court has been charged with creating the mediation program and the stipulations around them and how it's going to work. So property managers are going to be testifying and asking that it's sunset, so that it's not something that we will have permanently, but that it will have an end date, so to speak, on the mandatory mediations. The other thing that came up in our Zoom call last week was that, from what we understand, there are particular legislators that are trying to earmark that extra $10 million that the governor has issued for rental assistance specifically to the mediation program, which would mean that anybody going through the mediation program would be eligible for that $10 million in rental assistance, but nobody else would. And that comes with a lot of problems. First of all, we're probably not get into mediation until January, which means that their bill is just going to get higher more and more and more, and that means that's less tenants that it's going to help. And it also means it's going to delay the payments even longer to the owners who need to pay mortgages. So we're hoping that the Supreme Court will not tie that $10 million, that they will sunset this law on mandatory mediation, and also hopefully make some stipulations around tenants needing to have some responsibility in proving that they have actually been affected by COVID, so that we can sort of weed out those bad apples. So that's my update for today, and I'm sure next week I'm going to have more updates for you. In the meantime, I hope you guys are all safe and well, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me with the information below. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.